All right, welcome back to Fleck and Socks, a podcast, episode 214. Today on the show, it's election day. Go vote for Donald Trump right now. Then, Democrats are getting scared in the final hours. We're going to go over the most recent lies and P. Diddy adjacent celebrity endorsers. Then, in Cringe of the Week, a woman got scared when she received a letter in the mail claiming she had to take illegal immigrants into her home. We'll analyze that. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, black cops had a busy weekend beating up white guys at football games. We're going to analyze all this and more. It's Fleck and Socks, a podcast, episode 214, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck and Socks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grabboy. All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, did you know the American beef industry is being manipulated by BlackRock and Chinese money through the big four meat packers? And a lot of the meat you're eating comes from South America, China, or even Africa, and no one has to tell you about it because we have no country of origin law. Look it up. But you know whose meat we can trust? Farmer Bill's. Farmer Bill sources his meat and bison from the heartland of South Dakota. Show watchers know how great these meat snacks are. The gas station jerky you're probably eating is full of sugar, soy, and nitrates and seed oils, and Farmer Bill air cures and air dries his meat snacks. There's no sugar, there's no seed oils, there's no nitrates. Buy beef from people you trust. I recommend their bestseller bundle, which includes their 4-pack sampler, an original beef slab, and their grass-fed tallow bomb. Their bestseller bundle also includes free shipping and 10% off when you use code FLECKUS10 at checkout. And the best part, Farmer Bill is a show watcher. So let's go support our show watchers, small businesses. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. FLECKUS10 is the code for 10% off. The bestseller bundle is my number one recommendation. Free shipping. FarmerBillsProvisions.com. Go there now. It's linked in the description as well. Thank you, Farmer Bills, for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right. Thank you to Farmer Bills for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
We eat so much Farmer Bills, it's crazy.
Very tasty, very delicious.
And a show watcher.
Yeah.
So you guys need to go support. He supports us. Let's support him right back. All right. It's election day.
Crazy.
We made it. 4 years. I remember that it's ups and downs.
Oh, yeah. 4 years is a long time.
The last election where they took it, and then we got depressed, and then we got hopeful, and then they do all these bad things,
Yep.
the migrants.
A lot of migrants. Looking back, a lot of gay stuff, a lot of teachers, a lot of migrants. You know, there was a lot of bad shit in this 4 years.
And it might all come to an end today.
I really hope so.
I really hope so, too. We're optimistic. We are hoping for the best. We're believing that we have a very good chance. And the polls are looking good. Make sure you guys go out and vote if you haven't voted already. I don't know. Are there people in the audience who are going to go, my vote doesn't matter?
I don't know, but you can't watch this episode. This is not for you. Pause it, go vote, and then come back. You really do have to, because otherwise, like, almost mentally ill woman on SSRIs is going to decide what the country does.
Because a lot of other mentally ill women on SSRIs voted her in.
Yeah. Well, oh no, I was talking about women voters who are mentally ill and on SSRIs.
Either way.
Kamala, who knows what she's
Either way,
on.
it's SSRI woman leadership if we don't vote.
It's bad. So yeah, and we know our audience is mostly male, so you got to do it. It's henchman season, and this is the final quest.
Yeah. We need you. You got to go do a good job for us.
Yeah, go report back, boss.
All right, well, we're getting to some of the stats and the polls and where everything stands as of now. Can you read some of these? We're going to go through somewhat quick.
Well, yeah, this was, it says breaking. New memo confirms the Democrats are facing a huge turnout issue in the battlegrounds. Pennsylvania, urban turnout is down 381,000 votes. Female turnout is down 450,000 votes. Wisconsin, urban down 100K. Female down 238K.
Love to hear it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's kind of what we've been seeing. You can find a poll to say pretty much anything. We're going to get to some woman thinks Kamala's up 3 in Iowa, which is like clearly a Trump state. But the early voting numbers and what we're seeing and comparing like the enthusiasm, it just seems like rural and more Republican voters are turning out, and whereas Dems are just kind of like, nobody convinced me. They hot swapped her for Biden, and I don't think she has a brain.
Trump's still Hitler, though. It's
Those people were always voting against Trump, but I think that middle of the road, like, do I want to drive to the polling place? Did I update my stuff? Those people kind of fall off, and so we're seeing an enthusiasm gap, and we're hoping that plays out.
And we're going to get more into the polls in a few minutes, but keep in mind too with the polls. Have you ever answered a poll?
No,
I've never even been called for one. I don't think. I don't answer the phone, but is that what all those phone calls are?
And it's I just see scam likely, and I go, hey, scam. But no, it's not very right-wing coded to answer a phone call and be like, yeah, I have time. Yeah, I have 10 minutes. It is very left-wing to be like, oh yeah, I'll tell you all my thoughts about Kamala for the next 10 minutes with a random stranger. It's not very right-wing to answer the phone and let someone waste your time. So
exactly,
they call that the non-response bias that's built into some of these polls.
I'm the king of non-response.
Yeah, you really are.
All right.
You're bad. You're probably missing like tax stuff, like a letter from the IRS.
Yeah.
He goes non-response. But
And every week in the mail, I get some like certified mail I need to sign from the IRS. Non-responsive. Next stat we have, half the country has already voted, 53% women and 44% men. We need men to show up. So that's why we're telling you guys so much. Just go vote.
Yeah, and men are also kind of lean towards election day more because, women kind of have maybe some more free time during the day if, like, you're a stay-at-home mom or something
like that. Or they get scared. What if there's a long line?
Yeah. I don't know. But either way, we can't let... I remember we showed the clip of the cast of Hamilton singing that women had 10 million more votes in 2020. And it's like they brag about it. They brag about male apathy and the ability to decide the election based on abortion, not like important stuff. So that should light a fire under you guys. And that's it. I mean,
yep. And then
if you're voting, you know who you're voting for, and
you know what to do.
Yeah.
Next, Elon has a bus system in Pennsylvania. It looks like Elon's PAC America is going to be busing PA Republicans to the polls on Tuesday, much like the Pennsylvania Democrats did in 2022 for Fetterman.
Yeah. And I want to say, Elon, hang on to these buses. Keep them handy. We might need them on standby. Stand back and stand by, Elon.
Did we get them contracted to get all the migrants
The buses might be headed to Mexico soon. So, yeah.
And I like that it's the same tactic they use against us. And same with the PAC, where he's giving $1 million a day away. And like they kind of did stuff similar or used the same rules and laws to allow what they did.
Yeah.
The buses for Fetterman, it's the same thing. So they can get mad. And I'm sure there's going to be complaints if they lose. Or they're going to say, Elon manipulated the election results. Billionaires are influencing the election results. And it's like, that's what you guys are the kings of.
Yeah.
George Soros. And all
you invented it.
Meta, remember Facebook in 2020, the Zuckerberg bucks.
That was Wisconsin.
That's exactly what you guys do. And then if we do it, and it's for people that are actually engaged and want to vote for like pro-America policies, then it's going to be a huge problem.
I saw Turning Point was doing something with like swing states too. They were like reimbursing people's Ubers. Mm-hmm. So same thing. Good for them. Elon has been laser focused on the state of Pennsylvania. He's just like, all right, here I am. I'm going to push in all my chips on PA. And it has helped with some of the early voting numbers, I think.
And Pennsylvania is going to be what it comes down to. If Kamala wins that, like, she could have a path to victory. If she doesn't, there's not really a legal path to victory. I'm sure she'll try to send ballots through somewhere else.
Yeah,
but
there's not an election night victory path. There's always a Wednesday at 4 a.m. path if Pennsylvania doesn't.
Everyone went home, and we found all these ballots. We gotta count them. The judge said. Mm-hmm. All right, next let's do the Nate Cohn pollster news.
Yeah, breaking. New York Times pollster Nate Cohn announces white Republicans were not answering their polls nearly as much as Democrats and says the polling miss could be similar to 2020. And so that was the same thing, and that's what they call the non-response bias. 4 years ago, the polls were thought to underestimate Mr. Trump because of non-response bias, in which his supporters were less likely to take surveys than demographically similar Biden supporters. And it's extremely hard to measure that. So we don't really know. But 2020, I think they were predicting Biden to be more of a blowout. And it obviously came down to like 45,000 votes in 3 states.
In the middle of the night.
And so the fact that, I mean, this is the first time Trump's ever been like ahead in polls or like looking good, 3 elections total for him. and this is the first time he's ever been there. So.
And if you looked at it normally and you just were honest and there wasn't so much weird stuff at play, you'd go, oh, yeah, Trump's going to blow out Kamala. It's going to be a red wave. He's going to win a lot of states you never expected him to win. But because there's so many games and there's so many organizations that are very focused on getting as many ballots through the machines as possible, now you have to play this game where it's like he has to be too big to steal, and it's unfortunate. But
Democrats you got to respect them. You know,
real gangster shit.
Yeah, they have ground game. They call it ground game, and it's just like a laundering machine.
And also, as you guys know, there's a lot of betting going on like Polymarket and Kalshi, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Huge swing in Pennsylvania betting odds in the past hour. So basically, you know, it was looking pretty solid for Trump, and then all of a sudden it just closed entirely, and then Kamala takes the lead, which reminds me of the graphs of the midnight votes in Wisconsin and Michigan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whenever you see those lines that look unnatural, something is amiss. But then they actually went back to normal after, but there was a couple big bets in Pennsylvania for Kamala. The Quartering analyzed it. Can you read his tweet?
He said there hasn't been a bet on Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump in Wisconsin on Polymarket for 20 hours. And right on cue, you have like 150K roll in a period of 10 minutes and flip the state. Just like the other swing states, this is coordinated. And so that's kind of the main point is like Kamala closing on those polls was not really some sort of event-driven thing. There wasn't a Billy Bush tape or something that came out. There was no October surprise. So it didn't really make sense, and it was just some small amount of money in a short amount of time moving the market, and it's since recovered. Right?
And I think these betting markets are being manipulated by Democrats to sell a potential steal, kind of like with George Floyd in 2020, and then like, oh, everyone went out and voted for Joe Biden because Trump's racist and George Floyd, you know? It's the same thing where it's like, oh, Pennsylvania, Kamala just squeezed it out. You know, those betting markets were neck and neck.
And it cost him only $150K to get it neck and neck.
And you have like a little like resource or a little piece of evidence so later you can say, well, you know, those betting sites, they had it pretty close. I guess Kamala squeezed it out. Yeah. So that's just kind of how it goes. But reality is Pennsylvania looks like this. Can you read what Elon said about it?
Yeah, Pennsylvania's on track for a major Republican victory. The gap between 2024 and 2022 is now over 600,000, which is almost 10% of the electorate.
Great.
So, yeah, and that's like in terms of early voting, which leaned heavily Dem. So
good. That they usually do a better job with early voting, and it sounds like our guys showed up.
Yeah.
Love to see it. And then, like we said earlier, there were some pollsters who had a decent reputation that completely threw it in the trash can for Kamala Harris.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. If she wins Iowa, then this pollster has some sort of new reputation. But it was Ann Seltzer. And this guy says, Red Eagle Politics says, she's throwing away her reputation for a suppression poll. I'll delete my channel if this result is even within 7 points of reality. So she said Iowa was going to be +3. And Trump won it by 7 points in 2020.
So you know, the same thing.
It's like PSYOP window time. Like everyone's trying to get some little sneak job in with betting markets, with that poll. And you know,
they're just trying to sell us a fake reality so it's not so jarring if they were to find a way to steal it.
Yeah.
They're just trying to like make it seem, well, the betting market, the pollsters, you know how, you know, Kamala. And then with the fake polls, which are obviously very common, we also have fake endorsements. We have like this new trend on social media of like, I used to be a Republican. I voted for Donald Trump in 2016 and 2020. Now I'm voting for Kamala. We have a couple of those, and we're going to break them down and show you who these people really are. Can you read the first one?
This woman says, I'm a Christian wife and mother who is sick and tired of seeing my faith weaponized as a tool for hatred and oppression. Christian nationalism is a perversion of both Christianity and the Constitution. So I just voted for Kamala.
Actually, these are all lies.
Yeah.
This woman has a non-binary spouse.
Yeah, me and my amazing non-binary spouse celebrating Easter at church on Trans Day of Visibility. Okay.
It's very disrespectful to God considering how he made your husband originally.
Yeah.
And now you're letting him do this. And also, she has a necklace on, which looks like a cross necklace, but it's actually an IUD necklace.
A birth control necklace for $135 and 14 karat gold.
very disrespectful to God as well.
Yeah. So
obsessed with baby killing. This is like King Herod energy.
yeah, I'm a Christian wife, like on Twitter right now for the sole purpose of endorsing Kamala and getting 70,000 bot likes.
Yeah, exactly. We had another one. It says, my name is Ryan. I'm 42 years old and a husband, father, and veteran. I voted for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to protect my daughter's right to choose. How about you?
So he's thinking very multiple steps ahead. He's 42. His daughter can't be that old. He's thinking about, oh, what's she going to do later? Oh, she's going to, do it with some guy. And then it's going to be unprotected. And then there's a pregnancy. And then you can't have it. You can't keep it. So he's obsessed with that.
He's obsessed with that. It's like, how about you teach your kids some self-respect and some good lessons so they don't have to get in a situation like that? Liz Wheeler had a really good tweet that sums up my response for this type of person.
If you're voting for my daughter and reproductive freedom, then you're fine with men using your little girl as an object for promiscuous sex, impregnating her with no commitment, and brutally killing your sweet grandbaby so more men can abuse your daughter. It's gross. Stop it for your daughter.
That's a good point. That's how I see it.
I mean, yeah, that's a little harsh, but it's pretty dark. It's dark shit. And you notice how the whole point of them saying it is they lean into freedom or reproductive rights. They're not even comfortable saying exactly what they're up to, but they allude to it, and it drives women crazy to not be able to do it.
Yeah, and they say that they're like oppressed when they're getting their rights taken away. We're going to get to the Handmaid's Tale stuff in a little bit. But also, abortion is so available now compared to history that it's crazy. There's so much abortion now, but it's not enough for them. They need it to be applauded and cheered and revered by Christians.
And never questioned in any way.
Never questioned, and it needs to be applauded and cheered on by Christians. And if that doesn't happen, then they're oppressed. But the actual oppression is being a Christian and living in a society that's cheering on the death of children.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of they have this whole thing backwards. So obviously they're going to try and enforce abortion down everyone's throat. They just had a new ad about the pregnancy affecting the life of the mother. Here's what it looks like.
Dr. Davis, what do I do?
John, she needs an abortion or she's going to die from the pregnancy.
Sorry, that's not happening. What are you doing? Who are you? I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we banned abortion. No exceptions. You can't do this. She's dying. I won the last election, so it's my decision. But don't worry. You can still have children, just not with her.
Yeah, so that's what they pretend is going on, as if that's what abortions are. It's like some woman on the ground dying because there's a messed up pregnancy and she's going to die, and then some congressman's making her have the baby. We have the stats.
Yeah.
95%, over 95% of abortions are fully elective, meaning the person just doesn't want to have a kid right now, or they don't think they can afford it or whatever. It's nothing to do with their own health. They're just not looking to have a baby. Can you read the percentages on top of like all these other things that they mention as if they're the main cases?
0.01% resulted from an incestuous relationship. 0.15%, the woman was raped. 0.20%, the woman's life was endangered by the pregnancy. 0.98%, there was a serious fetal abnormality. So those are the ones that they actually combine some of those, and they say, what if she was raped by a incestuous relationship and she was endangered? That's their trifecta.
That's the trifecta.
And of course, I love this ad. What was the guy going to do? He's like, doctor, what do I do? It's like, you have to do it right now in your house. Like, what's the angle there? And of course, it's the only instance where there's going to be a white couple when they're talking about how much you need to have an abortion.
An abortion, and then also when you're the white congressman who just got elected, and now it's my choice. He's a white guy too.
Yep.
Also, there's no situation anywhere in America where you can't get treatment for a miscarriage or an ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like that's just like made up. But the reason abortion, we're going to kind of analyze big picture here. The reason why abortion is so important is because a lot of times women are sleeping with men they wouldn't want to have a child with or who wouldn't stick around to raise a child with them.
Yeah, well, that's what the 95% is on that chart, right? That's social or economic reasons, or I'm not going to list a reason.
Exactly. So it's like they feel out of control when you can just maybe stop getting raw dogged.
Yeah.
That's something you can control. And it's like maybe also stop having sex so much.
Yeah.
You know, like if you have sex so much and then your chances of like having a nice marriage and family actually go down. So it puts you in this like negative cycle when you could not have sex so much, you could marry a nice guy, have a family, and you're all good. But then if you don't and you participate in casual sex in this casual sex culture we live in too much, then your chances of getting married to a nice guy are going down. So you're going to have to keep participating in this world. And then your odds of getting pregnant with someone you wouldn't want to have a family with go way up.
And that's the future that dad from the tweet is fighting for. That's what he wants his daughter to do.
My daughter's going to be a slut in high school. You know?
College, she's going crazy. And I don't want any half and half someone else's kid.
Yeah. And so we have some memes too. So Democrats be like, at least we have abortion as the city burns. And can you read the other one?
I don't care about foreign policy, immigration, the economy, or crime. I just want to be able to kill my kids.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
It's very backwards. It's very upside down. It's very satanic. All right, next we're getting, we have the Handmaid's Tale thing too. Can you read that?
And this is what they think they're voting against. Nobody, suburban white women with multiple degrees, a $750,000 home and an $80,000 SUV. And they put on the outfit. And it's very actually funny because the Handmaid's Tale is like supposed to be this fascist thing where they're forced to do it. But this woman goes out and buys the outfit herself. And she takes her own car and then she does it as like a symbol.
She lives in the suburbs.
Wakanda forever.
Next, we're getting some more celebrity endorsements at the buzzer. Cardi B was the big one. She did a speech and her teleprompter broke, so then she really didn't have any idea of what to say. Can you let that go?
1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, so I don't take lightly the call. Sorry, guys, I'm a little nervous. Guys. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Thank you.
So then her teleprompter broke. They handed her a phone with the script, and then she read what she read.
Yeah, she goes, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life, and that's why I can't do any sort of off-the-cuff riffing at all, and I need to read it direct.
Yeah, and then Elon said, another puppet who can't even talk without being fed the words. The Kamala campaign has no authenticity or true empathy.
So Cardi B had a response where she said, I'm not a puppet, Elon. I'm a daughter of 2 immigrant parents that had to work their asses off to provide for me. I'm a product of welfare. I'm a product of Section 8. I'm a product of poverty. And I'm a product of what happens when the system is set up against you. But you don't know nothing about that. You don't know about one thing about my American struggle. So she mentions how she got free housing and welfare and then says the system was set up against me. Sounds like the system gave you everything and your parents kind of were set up against you maybe. Maybe they weren't working that hard or something.
System set up against me, but then you talk about Section 8 and welfare in the same paragraph?
So this is what we get. This is the welfare system that gives us Cardi B. That doesn't seem like a good trade-off to me.
And I'm excited that Trump and Elon can team up and do the government efficiency program and maybe get rid of a lot of EBT for people.
Trump and Elon, that's what we're actually fighting for is like the existence of a Cardi B type 40 years from now or something.
Yeah.
So we need to get him off.
And then Cardi B was obviously, that was her on stage in front of all those people representing Kamala Harris. And then here's also what Cardi B was up to years before she became popular. So it was kind of hard to understand, but she was explaining that when she was a stripper, that men would want to have sex with her, and then she'd take them back to a hotel and then drug them and rob them.
And then she continues to say, nothing was handed to me. And it's like, well, you just mentioned welfare before.
Section 8 welfare.
So welfare and then still doing crime. You had the welfare and then you still did the crime. So, I guess that's a Democrat spokesperson. That's kind of who they're here for, right?
It rings true. That's the type. And Mark Cuban a few days ago, as you guys remember, said, Trump, you never see him around with intelligent, strong women. And then, okay, you want to make that claim. Who are the women hanging around with Kamala Harris? Cardi B. You had her on stage. Here's a Cardi B tweet. I wonder how pee tastes like.
She's brilliant. That's a curious mind. That's like a beautiful mind.
Yeah, very smart individual. And then we had J-Lo up there, too. She was crying about Kamala Harris.
I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional. But you know what? You know what? We should be emotional. We should be upset. We should be scared and outraged. We should. Our pain matters. We matter. You matter.
Oh. Crying. Aren't you friends with P. Diddy?
Yeah, crying. She dated him.
Did you date P. Diddy during all the stuff that was happening?
And crying on stage, dude. Where was this in Anaconda? Where was this in Geely?
Well, let's not go crazy. Geely wasn't bad.
Where was this in Made in Manhattan?
Okay, let's not say anything we're going to regret.
was
Made in
this?
Manhattan, Monster-in-Law, Anaconda, Geely. These are all good movies.
She had a good rom-com run there for
These
a while.
are all good movies. She is a good actor. And that's why she's on stage crying, because she's friends with P. Diddy, dated P. Diddy, and now she's forced to go on stage and pretend she cares about politics and loves Kamala Harris.
All right.
Can you read the tweet that sums that up as well?
It said, people often forget that celebrity actors are professional liars, literally. Their success is often tied to the believability of their lie. That's what acting is. These people are paid to convincingly endorse Kamala. They are paid to do their job.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's who we're dealing with.
But, you know, to respect to J-Lo, Autism Capital, who tweeted that, she's actually a triple threat. She's a dancer, singer, actor. So
Yeah.
she's a liar and she can look good while doing it.
Yeah. She's very talented.
I know. So are we in on this endorsement? Or are we going to switch our votes now? Because J-Lo cried on stage?
Well, we can make up our mind at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And then T-Pain. We have some of our own celebrities too, obviously, and our own billionaires now. T-Pain came out and endorsed Trump. Look how he did his most recent concert.
Hello, America. Daddy Pain is finally here. Happy birthday!
All right, love to see it.
Sure.
Thank you, T-Pain. Very cool. And then also, to be completely fair and objective, Bartender is one of the best songs in world history.
That's true. That's
Wednesday night, I'm on the list. T-Pain plus 3. T-Pain plus 3.
Yeah, that echo. He really know how to use that echo.
He knew. He knows what catches. He knows what holds. All right, next we're getting to some
As
more.
if celebrity endorsements are moving the needle either way in either direction.
I bet that T-Pain endorsement maybe moves the needle in the black community.
A light bulb went off in one single black guy's head. It's like, damn, T-Pain, nappy boy.
I know T-Pain about his business. I want to be about my business. I might go vote Trump. And then we have some sketchy stuff that's been going on with the voting. We've covered that in the last episode. And this one, this is a lighter section. Can you read the thing?
Well, outrage ensuing after Fulton County, Georgia is reportedly not allowing poll watchers to observe special weekend operations in the Deep Blue area. And this email just says, it's from some woman. It says, "Good morning, team. FYI, there are no watchers approved for ballot drop-off. Do not let them in the building. If they want to observe from the parking lot, you can't stop that, but they are not allowed to sit in the building. Have your security detail enforce it. I love my team. Thank you."
With a bunch of exclamation points.
So,
It's like an official voting registration process email. The person's got like a gov email.
yeah.
At gov whatever.
Friendly reminder, nobody can watch what we're fucking doing.
And it's just written, you can tell, by just some manic liberal woman. A bunch of exclamation points. That's who's in charge of the elections.
Yeah.
It's very discouraging. But don't get too down or
But
too
we just
depressed.
won a suit in Georgia, actually, that just went to the Georgia Supreme Court, I believe. So that said certain ballots can't be, after Election Day, that are received after Election Day can't be counted. So
Yep.
it's more shenanigans that are kind of getting...
Exactly. So we are on top of it with the lawsuits. And then that specific scenario, they overruled it. And the watchers were allowed in. So it wasn't as bad as it looks.
Okay.
So yeah, we're at the final page of housekeeping. My final page of housekeeping this week is going to go to Bonusland, FuckUsTalks.com. So make sure you guys join. It's really good stuff. We have a lot of weird foreigners eating like bugs and stuff and weird stuff you wouldn't really understand.
And it just doesn't make sense in an Election Day episode. So I get it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very selfless of you to sacrifice yours.
Yes, exactly. And when it comes, maybe we'll make a final pitch. We'll make a final pitch right now Who should we vote for? Today's election day. We can't vote for the people who cut the barbed wire and open the border and let in 11 million illegals.
Yeah.
Right? We can't vote for the people that now make Big Mac meals $20. Right? Can't vote for that. We can't vote for people who put Rachel Levine in charge of stuff. She should be in a mental hospital. Right? We can't vote for people who want to trans our kids and destroy our education system and want men to dominate women's sports and have naked trans parties at the White House again. That already happened.
That happened. We can't take it back. We can't go back, but we can stop it.
We can't vote for people who want World War III.
Yeah.
We're itching for it. We can't vote for people who allow criminals to roam free after committing crime after crime and just release them like no big deal. We can't vote for people who forced us to get the vaccine. Can't vote for that. So I'm voting for the guy they're all scared of. The guy they're trying to destroy with lawfare and smears by the media. I'm voting for the guy who called Joe Biden a retard. I'm voting for the guy they keep trying to kill.
Yeah.
So today's the day. Go vote for Donald Trump right now.
There you go. That's your last page of housekeeping right there.
Nothing crazy. We have a little bit more.
Okay.
People are boarding up their businesses for the big day.
Yeah.
But you see, it says Potbelly, we're open. And that's what it looks like.
We just had to take some precautions. Come on in for a pig sandwich.
Yeah, in case the Democrats go crazy. I don't think they're worried about Republicans doing this.
You ever eat Potbelly?
No.
Very good.
Yeah?
Started in Chicago. Very good.
Okay, is it sandwiches?
Yeah, it's sandwiches. They're hot. They're nice. They do a good job.
French dip?
No.
Au jus type stuff?
No. Just like deli, but they have like high quality chicken and turkey. So my favorite thing about this too, sorry to get derailed there, is this is like they board it up with plywood. It's not exactly like a fortress, but they're just stopping opportunistic drive-by, like shatter our glass door and fuck our day up stuff. Like if it was a real mean mob and they wanted to fuck up the Potbelly or the Pete's Coffee, like they'd get it done. This is just like a low level, like, all right, that 80 IQ guy who's going to throw a brick, we just want to discourage him. He's not going to take down the plywood.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And he won't, so it's fascinating.
People with casual grievances.
Yeah, people drive by anger,
Exactly. All right, before we move on to Cringe, we have a special announcement. It's a sad announcement, and it's not a joke.
Okay.
This is serious. One of our show watchers, Shelby, who is a massive show watcher, top show watcher, bonus lander, friend in real life. She is a Whippet. It's a dog, Whippet, the dogs. She's a Whippet breeder and shower. And a few days ago, 2 of her dogs got out, Mascot and Trip, and they were hit by cars. And Mascot died. Very sad. Trip got messed up, broke his leg. Horribly broken compound fracture. He's not doing good, but he is recovering and he is going to make it. Shelby also gave us these nice plates. She was the one who made the plates. She made the Fleckus Talks the plate. And
she made a Jerry Rottweiler painting. She's committed.
Jerry Rottweiler painting, Jerry Rottweiler plate, Richard Rapway plate.
Yeah.
Here she is with the Fleckus Talks merch showing one of her dogs. So she has a GoFundMe for the dogs, the costs, the vet costs, $10,000. We've raised like $6,000 so far. Let's get her over the line. I don't really ask for call to actions like this very often, but Shelby is a great show watcher and a friend, and something terrible happened to her. Let's support her as a community. Let's support her. Let's get her over the line. Everything is listed here in that picture on the GoFundMe, but it's also linked in the description. Check it out. It tells the full story. It has all the receipts for all the vet bills and stuff. Go give a few bucks to a fellow show watcher who had something terrible happen to her. We love you, Shelby. God bless you. We're really sorry for what happened. Yep. Let's get into Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is a presentation by a teacher to his class full of students, and look what he says.
Boys or girls? Everyone! Barbies, boys or girls?
Girls!
Everyone!
Let's cap!
Skateboarding, boys or girls?
Everyone!
Everyone! Nail polish, boys or girls?
Mostly girls!
Okay, mostly girls, but everyone.
That you, mister?
Dresses. Okay. Boys or girls?
Okay, that one's only girls.
Mostly girls, but again, Everyone! Yo, look, you can't tell me that Posty doesn't look cute in his little dress.
Mister, you should dress up in a dress.
Come on now. Do you notice a pattern of what I said?
Everything's for everyone?
Everything's for everyone, absolutely. Things are just things meant for anyone who wants to enjoy them. Yo, do you want to play with a dinosaur?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you want to paint your nails?
Nah, I'm good.
If not, no one is forcing you to do these things, but yo, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. All right, everybody. I have some big news. I know y'all love y'all's math teacher, but would you love me?
Math teacher.
He's been a math teacher that whole time. He's got a PowerPoint with Machine Gun Kelly and Post Malone wearing a dress and shit. He's a math teacher.
They do a 15-minute presentation on this in like what, your 40-minute math class? And then none of the kids can do math anymore.
Well, you know what's funny? This doesn't look like an inner city school to me. This looks like, an affluent, type of place that would hire this open-minded loser. So the Baltimore kids, they can't do any math. They can't do algebra. And then these kids, their math time is getting eaten up with social justice time. And that's just kind of how it goes, You're wasting everyone's time. The teachers in Baltimore, the Baltimore kids, they should be shoveling dirt. They should be doing manual labor. And then these kids who actually can learn math, they're learning the dumb shit where nail polish and this. And this guy says it. The thing is, this guy says it in a way where it's not some groundbreaking theoretical thing. It's like everything's for everyone. That's just an item. It matters what importance you can give it. He does that. It's like obvious shit. It's just like an indoctrination lesson.
Yeah.
It's not like he's telling you, well, actually, here's this little nuance of how life works. He just goes, nail polish, everyone, everyone.
And then if you want to introduce like radical politics into the zeitgeist or whatever, and you want to get introduced, like the foundation we have as a society is like we have some societal norms. Men wear this, women wear that. Like we have some like fundamental truths. Boys are boys, girls are girls. And then when you have that, your culture can kind of unify around these truths.
Yeah.
And then you can go forward from there and you can like build stronger. You can create things, you can innovate. But when you try to like go to the foundation of society and remove those social norms and pretend they're nothing and they're arbitrary and they're just made up by some guy and boys actually like Barbies and girls actually like skateboarding, then you can kind of like seep into the foundation and crack it within, because now you have a whole generation of people who thinks, oh, all the societal norms and all these things that we've had for years and years were just made by oppressive white guys. Actually, everything's for everyone.
Yeah, you start chiseling away at it, and then all of a sudden girls on Twitter are crying that nobody intervened when some drugged out black guy was attacking them on the subway. And then all the men on that subway car were thinking about how the one guy who did intervene is on trial right now. And you go, like maybe we shouldn't have chiseled away at all that shit. And maybe men should have been a protector role.
Yeah. Men and women are equally protector. Anyone can protect anyone. Yeah. They're the same strength.
Have you seen that girl rugby player? She could do it. And it's like, yeah, that's not what we're talking about. We're trying to run a fucking society here, right?
Exactly. So stuff like this, people like this who think they're being progressive and like taking away past hate and past whatever, you're actually obviously a Muppet, but what you're doing, you're going to limit the growth of a lot of people. People can't progress. They don't have a correct worldview if the most fundamental thing was thrown out the window when they were at a young age.
Yeah, just teach the quadratic equation, bro. Let's go.
What's A squared plus B squared?
Y equals MX plus B, dog. Come on.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our next story. There was an anti-Trump manic person who was mad that someone had a Trump sign.
First, before we play this, what do you think? Is it going to ramp up either way? Is this on-the-street confrontation going to ramp up either way in between election and inauguration?
Yeah.
We're going to have some chaos, right?
Chaos.
So here's what happens when you go in this guy's neighborhood, when he's thinking about his daughter's rights.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I'm great, you fucking
okay?
cunt. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah? You doing good?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You live in this neighborhood?
Doesn't matter.
You shouldn't be in this neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, do you have jaundice or something?
I shouldn't be in this neighborhood?
Guess what, Nazi? Go home.
All right.
Fuck you, Nazi piece of shit.
All right.
Go home.
Stop shaking your hands.
Go home.
Step away.
Yeah, because I want to...
Step back.
You don't understand.
Step back.
So he's shaking.
He's shaking and taking every single ounce of his energy to do this.
He's shaking because he thinks there's a Nazi right there. But if there was a Nazi, like, you're the least physically capable of doing anything about it. Mm-hmm. And this type of person thinks you're a bad person for voting for Donald Trump and they know better. They need to elect Kamala Harris because they know better and what's better for society. And that person should be leading in society as a man.
This guy with the hipster clothes in Chicago, he's 50 years old. He's kind of losing it, but he's still hanging on. And he thinks he's on the right side and you're a Nazi. And so that's why he's cool. He lives in the urban center. His apartment has exposed brick. And he's not a Nazi. He punches Nazis.
Yeah.
But when he gets up to him and it's just some guy on the corner who's a Nazi, you're shivering. You're shaking. You have no fucking power. You're not cool.
Exactly.
And so this next section, we're going to have a couple of real life confrontations here.
We have another one with Emily Saves America in Los Angeles. Some guy who's like, living in LA. He looks like he's 50 years old maybe. Listen to what he says to her.
I deserve to get
You do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're wearing MAGA shoes in
Yeah.
West Hollywood.
Yeah, I am. I'm wearing my dope-ass MAGA
Like
shoes.
I said, go back a
Yeah.
He's convicted for rape. It's
Not.
also illegal to film somebody in California.
Oh, what are you
without
going
their
to do
consent.
about it?
Nothing, you dumb c***. You ugly bitch.
What it
You've
now?
definitely been raped and you're okay with it.
You're so insane. You're
So that's the other side.
So this is like a guy who's dressed decent. Like he's got his little outfit on. He's got his dog walking outfit. He's got a purebred dog. He looks like the type of guy who has some sort of tech job, right?
Yeah.
And he's out here talking about how a girl deserves to get raped and calls her a dumb cunt because she's wearing Trump shoes in West Hollywood. So both of these videos, people are like, you're not in MAGA country. And they think they can insult you or whatever. And this guy just happened to pick the worst possible person who has like an online following and will amplify you and get a New York Post article written about it.
Yeah.
What a dumb decision. And you're like 50. Both of these guys are like 50. And they're out on the street having confrontations. Why? Because their brains got broken. You know how many Kamala Harris signs I've passed in the past 2 months or whatever?
And I go, oh, retard lives there.
I'm not shaking you. Yeah. I'm not ruining my life or my reputation because obviously people are going to disagree. And this is one of those things where you think you can have it your way in your neighborhood. Obviously, people think differently from you no matter where you are. There's going to be a leftist in the most rural county in America, and there's going to be a right-winger in LA or Chicago. And these people, they haven't accepted. I've accepted the fact, right? I want people to vote for Trump because I think the country will be in a better place if Trump is elected. I think if Kamala is elected, there's going to be a lot of illegals. There's going to be a lot of welfare. There's going to be a lot of like buying votes and whatever. And these people who both confronted the Nazi on the street and the dumb C word, I'm sure we're going to have to bleep me repeating it earlier. They can't get it through their head that half the country is about to vote for the other side. Right? Like, isn't that so weird? Shouldn't these 50-year-old men be like, all right, I've accepted this. I'm angry about it and I don't like it. But I know logically half the country is about to vote for the person against me, right?
They don't get it.
Yeah.
And then in our last
act out
from it. And they act out and they act like this. And then in our last, and this happens all the time, in our last episode, we showed the kid who yelled "fuck you" from his truck. And they were going, we have to track this guy down and get him fired from his job. He lives in Florida. And then like you have people like this who are actually insane, threatening violence, saying you should get raped. And then what? That's okay?
That's regular. That's normal. They're on the right side of history and you're a Nazi, right?
Yeah, they're against the Trump supporters. Like it's so backwards. And then we don't have that same drive to like, oh, let's find out who this guy is. Let's call his job and get him fired. You know? We're like live and let live people.
And these people don't seem generally happy, do they? They don't seem like the happy type. And in terms of our Twitter psyop that we showed earlier, that Christian girl with the IUD necklace and how she's really married to a trans person and they're all fucked up. There's another one of those cases of before and after on this Twitter that we want to read to kind of sum up the mental health or the happiness of people who would accost someone on the street like those last two incidents. This girl tweeted, "Housewife this, 1950s that, my bitch in Christ. They were giving those ladies drugs and lobotomies because they were so depressed and unhappy with their lives. I'm going to beat the shit out of you," right? So you can't reminisce about back when the nuclear family was intact and women were kind of happy, right?
And then that's not good, so she must be living a way better way.
Yeah, she must be happy now, right?
She doesn't live like that. So let's read her more recent tweet after that.
Yeah, it's not more recent, it's older, but look into the mind of the mental health status of this woman. I'm looking into seeing a therapist for the first time, and I'm honestly scared because I'm literally haunted by existential dread that kind of always relates directly back to capitalism. And I need to speak about it and learn how to deal with it before I go insane. But what if she's a Republican?
Yeah.
So she's looking for therapy because she's manic about capitalism, which she could have avoided as a housewife in the 1950s, obviously. But there might be a Republican, so she can't even get help. She can't even get therapy.
Existential dread. It's like we wouldn't have that if you married someone you loved and you had family with them, but they don't want to marry you because you're probably gross.
And you have to vote for abortion in this election, so I don't know.
Like a nice guy doesn't want to marry a pro-choice girl like that.
Yep. So these people are all mentally unwell, and I don't know if it'll spike. I think it will spike. You saw all the way through Trump's inauguration in 2016, like people went crazy.
Oh, yeah. If they announce Trump wins tonight, shit goes crazy.
Yeah.
For sure. And then the illegals will take it and go crazy too. Do you think the election results will be done tonight?
No. I think they'll at least have to drag. They'll do anything in their power not to call it tonight.
I think so.
I think there's a world where maybe Kamala. I don't want to make too many predictions. It's election day, you know. We'll react to it on Friday.
If it's close, they can't call it same day, obviously, and then they'll try to make it happen for her. If there's if he hits 270, he hits 270.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what happens. All right, moving on. We kind of just showed you guys what left-wingers do when they see right-wingers in public and Trump supporters in public. We're going to give you a little example here of what Trump supporters do to left-wingers.
I put a lawn sign in my front yard, and I don't think I should be subjected to these fraudulent mailers.
When this 50-year-old Shrewsbury woman put up a Harris wall sign in front of her home, she just wanted to show her support. She never imagined she would be subjected to a campaign dirty trick.
It really creeped me out.
She was dismayed when the mail arrived this week and she received this postcard. It purports to be from the Harris campaign, thanking her for putting up a sign and alerting her a family from Nicaragua would be moving into her home.
That's when I realized it was an obvious attempt to try to either scare me or rage bait me and make me upset.
It's absolutely a scare tactic.
Suffolk.
Yeah, so you don't want them either.
Yeah.
It's a scare tactic. Like, what's so scary about having these people in the country, in your house? Why? It's not scary. They just want a better life, right?
So right-wingers see a Harris sign and they go, I'll mess with her a little bit. I'll send her a little postcard saying, representing how many illegals are here, and I'll kind of give them food for thought. It'll be a little prank. And what does the woman do when that happens?
Gets the news crew.
Immediately calls the news crew and amplifies the meme 100,000 times what it would have been if she just received the postcard and shredded it.
Exactly. She got memed in real life.
Mm-hmm. She got dunked on, like in a funny way, and then she called NBC News.
And you had a piece of paper, you could have gone, thrown it away. Now you called the news crew, and everyone's seeing this story, and it seems like they're on your side because they're supporting you getting whatever in the mail. But in reality, you're showing everyone watching the news how Democrats don't actually support the policies they think they support.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, too, this isn't that far from reality. We have this headline here. Governor Healy asked residents to house migrant families amid growing shelter crisis. And that was from Massachusetts, I think.
And it's in the same state. They're both in Massachusetts. This woman's in Massachusetts.
So it's not even like it's that crazy of a thing or crazy of a prank. That literally was happening.
It's reality adjacent, but it's more of a meme, right?
Exactly. All right, we're moving on to Urban Decay. We have a good amount of urban, nothing crazy. Okay. The meat of the show is the front.
Yeah, we gotta vote. You know, it's kind of we're derailed. And honestly, this whole day, this whole election determines if we're kind of playing defense going forward or on offense.
I really want to be on offense.
The show is gonna be either a ton more Urban Decay and Cringe, or it's going to be less, and we're going to have to search harder and find it.
And more uplifting. Or the show goes to jail. Yeah. Honestly,
you know what?
I think someone's going to knock on the door and say, hey, you said Kamala didn't win fair and square. Like, you're literally going to jail. And I'll go to jail.
I saw Ross Ulbricht. You know who that is? He's like he's serving basically like a life sentence or 38 years. He was the founder of Silk Road.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has said he'll pardon him on day one, and then Kamala hasn't said anything about him. He's got like a really hard sentence for kind of being like a young guy who ran an illegal internet marketplace where people bought drugs and stuff. It's not great, but He got really punished. And it's like, imagine that being your election night. I'm either free tomorrow or like, in January, or I'm doing 38 years. That's one hell of a two-way go.
That's a big parlay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our urban clips. This lady or this girl is sad after moving to LA and it's not as sweet as she thought it was.
I just moved to LA like a month ago and I don't like it. And I was walking tonight and I was like, maybe it's not so bad here. I have my dog out with me and he grabbed something in his mouth and I was like, oh, it was brown. And I was like, oh no, he probably has like a cookie or something. It's chocolate. He's gonna eat it. He's gonna die. I stuck my hand in. It's cold and it's wet. It's human shit. It's human shit. There's shit all over my hands and my dog is eating it and I threw up and then I had to come home, and when I got inside my dog, he had shit like smeared all over his face and now he's just hanging out and I don't want him anymore.
Pretty dark.
The girl's a good storyteller.
Yeah, human shit. That's happened to me. When I lived in LA, I dropped my phone.
You ate human shit?
I ate human shit. I thought it was chocolate or a cookie. It was wet and
that
cold.
happened to me. The dog's POV, not the girl's. I just started eating. I smell it. It smelled good.
But unfortunately, I think this person's going to go vote for abortion.
Yeah.
So your dog's eating human shit.
Abortion outweighs that. Needles and shit in a cleanly environment. That's not going to change either way. So
if I were to get pregnant with one of these random guys, I have to be able to get rid of it.
Yeah. So the dog thing, I wonder, it could have been that other leftist guy who confronted Emily Saves America.
Him was shitting?
Yeah, well, his dog.
Oh, yeah.
Size shit. Yeah, I don't know. This whole, you think about like an issue like that, like picking up the dog shit and then fighting it in your dog's mouth. And then it's like, okay, time to go home. I got to press the button and I got to scan the key card. And then I touch one handle, touch another. There's nowhere to clean up. It's like you bombed out your apartment complex. It terrorizes everyone. That ripples.
There's like a shit on, exactly.
And it ripples.
There's like a shit on the ground, and it's like 90% right there.
Yeah.
And then it's 5% within 5 feet of it. And then it's 3% within 20 feet. And then it goes all the way down to like 1%, 0.1%, and it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
It goes on your hands, on your phone, on the keypad. It's on everything.
Yep.
And it did happen to me in LA.
What, you stepped in it? What? Tell me more.
Well, I used to see the shit everywhere. I used to take photos of it, and I would monitor it.
I used to visit you in LA, and you'd say, "Watch." He'd point it out. It was like a game to him because he was living on Skid Row.
And then you have to look down when you walk, which is not a proud thing to do, but you can't step in shit.
Yeah.
And then the one time I got out of an Uber, and I got out, and my phone fell out of my pocket onto a pile of toilet paper with shit in the middle.
Yeah, and dogs, you guys know dogs don't use toilet paper.
And I told my mom, and she just like texted me, and she just goes, "Keep spraying your phone." Like with like Windex, just keep spraying it. All right, next, maybe an explanation as to why everything's locked up in the stores. It says POV WaWa equals walk away with anything. And you just take it all. They're a corporation. They can afford it. And then you go in the store a week later and go, oh, damn, the Doritos is locked up. We living in a food desert and shit.
Man, this is like oppression and shit. I got to ring a bell to get my Snickers now.
These white folks trying to starve us.
Yeah. So there it is. That's why it happens, guys. You know?
Yeah. All right. Next, we are going to go not fast, but we have two last clips. And they're both fights at football games. And they're both black cops beating up white guys.
Which is interesting. And a new dynamic. This dynamic didn't exist until a while ago.
And we all know what happens when it's a white cop versus a black guy, right? So just keep that in mind when you're watching this. That's a white cop. Here's the main guy. He's beating up like a bald white guy. Back of the head punches, which are illegal in UFC.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say.
So you're really going to do some damage. Mm-hmm. And you're just swinging away at this guy. What could have happened? I don't know. That would warrant that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another clip too.
The cop's kind of a thug.
Yeah, he's acting like a thug. And then we have another clip too, and then we'll kind of analyze both. Similar thing. This guy was asked to leave and he didn't want to get up, and then the cops made him get up.
I'm not going to jail. You stop me from having it. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. That is assault. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't.
And the cop was using his handcuffs as like brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Which is a thing they're allowed to do if it's a defensive situation. That didn't look like it was a defensive situation.
I didn't know cops just kind of swung and hung out in the pocket like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where my thoughts are on this. The guy, you know, there's a certain, like, if you resist and you're pulling off the taser things, I don't know what you can expect after that.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's people online who are like pro BLM. A lot of black people online were saying like, oh, now the roles are reversed. Why didn't he just comply? He should have just complied. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have got punched in the face with brass knuckles.
So they think it's like pointing out hypocrisy because like we're saying like, yeah, he should, like they're saying you should have just complied. He should have just complied. And then this happened and we didn't go burn down a city. We didn't loot a store. We didn't do any George Floyd shit.
Donald Trump didn't say this guy could have been my son.
Yeah.
Before encouraging riots.
We didn't do all this DEI shit. We just go, oh, that guy got beat up by a bunch of cops. He probably should have listened. I don't even know what happened. Like, that's it. But it's, oh, this is hypocrisy. Oh, now the foot's on the, the shoe's on the other foot. Not really. You guys are the ones who are inconsistent because when you see this, are you rioting and looting and saying police brutality? No.
Yeah.
It's only when it goes one way.
There's two natural courses that I think happened here, like categorically. One, the guy resisted arrest, ripped the taser buttons off of him, and then he got beat up, right? So you do one, and then, yeah, you should probably expect the other. They're not just going to go, oh, sorry, sir. I'll reel in my taser wires and have a good day.
He doesn't want to go.
He said no. What do we do? I don't
Try
know.
the rest of your game.
And then the other part is the cop who's punching him in the face with the brass knuckle handcuff shit. You know, they're probably gonna put him on a 2-week suspension or something, and they're gonna pay this guy $200,000. The city's gonna pay him. You know, so two natural things happen, and then like, is society safer or better for either of them? No. Go stop the shoplifter or something. Go shop the WaWa guy.
Exactly.
So.
Well, don't get too down or too depressed. Moving on to Uplifting Gold, and we have some real uplifting stuff this week. First, we're going to go fast through Uplifting. We're at the end of the show.
Are we behind or something?
No, we're right on schedule. We got 5-6 minutes left.
All right, no big deal then.
No big deal. Good news, Uplifting. Boeing dismantles DEI department, joining major companies in scrapping controversial policy.
Yeah, so Boeing dismantled its global DEI department as part of an overhaul of its operations. This was, I think, Robbie Starbuck had threatened them. He said, hey, he opened up his jacket. He goes, I got the files. He threatened them. And then this whole thing, Sarah Liang Bowen, a company vice president, VP, high salary, VP at Boeing, pretty high salary, a lot of responsibility. You got your whole undercurrent in the org chart, bunch of people under you. She left the company. So that's kind of like when we win, like these DEI people are fucking unemployed and there's no other job. She doesn't go to Nike next or she doesn't go to whatever. They're all gone,
And everyone else sees that and they go, oh, Debbie just got fired. She's gone. All that shit. We're not doing that anymore. And the person who was in charge of it is out.
And then if your company is going through any sort of financial hardship, it's like, hey, you're not going to believe this. I found a piece of the company that takes up like $3.5 million in payroll. We can cut it tomorrow. And it already should be cut. It's kind of like an affluence job.
But what's going to happen? Is our planes going to be built in the safe enough way?
Let me tell you something. it doesn't affect the bottom line at all.
The planes will be safer.
Yeah.
We can hire people who actually can do the job.
Yeah, so love to see it. Uplifting gold.
All right, next is a bear that got released. That's what you don't want to see. Look how he jumps in the truck, though.
He almost fell out.
And yeah, and you guys know, if you're standing in the bed of a pickup truck, if you're standing in the bed of a pickup truck and it goes, the tendency to fall out of it is high.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Inertia, movement,
Yeah.
stuff like that. He gets in and he stays in. I don't know how. He almost fell out with the bear.
Yeah.
Like that, the people driving the truck are lucky he stayed in.
Yeah, and I don't know. Do you readjust your policy anymore? You just let out a fully aggressive, untranquilized bear? That's how you do it? Maybe leave him in a field with a little drowsy.
Yeah. I think the move would be you have the box, you bring the truck up next to the box, you stand in the bed of the truck, you open it, you drive away.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to transition from top of the box to the pickup.
Okay, very fair.
That's how you get in trouble.
Extremely fair.
All right, let's go to the singing tour guide. You guys know I love this.
Your skin, everyone, come on, sing along. Your skin and bones turning to something beautiful. You know I love you so. Come on, everybody, you know I love you. You know I love you so.
Isn't that nice?
Not really.
I love that shit.
You know me. Not
Why
really.
do I like that so much?
I don't know.
It's like irony and music, and then like the
earnestness. There's an earnestness to it. He
Yeah.
was genuinely trying. He
Yeah.
doesn't care about being humiliated. He's free, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're watching it in a weird way. You're a voyeur. You're like, how could he do that? I would never do that. So you're kind of like, you're seeing something you want. He's free.
And
these Asian people, they have a certain freedom.
That's exactly it. And then also, the original song is the original song. It sounds good, whatever. That is different.
Yeah.
It's the same, but different.
Yeah.
And would I rather go to a concert of Bono or that guy?
It's like copyright law. He took it, like he made it significantly different, transformational, right?
Transformative, yeah.
Transformative.
And he made it worse.
Yeah.
But better.
Exactly.
All right. Next is a prank where they put a rubber snake on a string attached to their mom.
Don't panic. There's someone behind you.
Keep going. Every time she turns around, she keeps seeing it.
That's the most cartoon reaction I've ever seen in my entire life.
And every few seconds she turns and checks and starts yelling again. That's pretty good. All right, next.
Yeah, no, nothing else.
All right,
to
next
say.
is kids gave candy back to a bowl that got looted.
Candy. Candy. Let's give him candy. Upside down. Okay, just give him candy. I don't have that much. I do. Yes, you do, Peter.
I don't have that much.
I want to give him one. Hey, it's sharing. Yeah, give him that right there. Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween, dude. Bye. Well, I have all the good candy.
That's nice, but also people probably know they're going to get viral for it.
Yeah. Caden didn't want to give any, and I get it. Because what? Someone else is going to raid the bowl next.
Yeah.
There's a little security dilemma there. Nice kids for sure. But,
Nice kids.
But I don't know if I would.
That's not my type of behavior.
Yeah.
Personally, I was never the kid putting all the candy back in the bowl. Was I the kid taking all the candy from the bowl? No. Was I the kid maybe encouraging one of the people in the group?
Yeah.
Maybe find like a kid who's down to do it and being like, yo, take all the candy and we'll get out of here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I was.
Doesn't sound like a firm denial for you.
But I was never the kid stealing, but I was also never the kid replacing.
Also, teenagers on Halloween. Done. You're done. 12, 13. That's the cutoff. I saw some videos teenagers stealing. I saw some teenagers in the neighborhood. Just get fucked.
You ever throw eggs or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. Teepee. I
But
did
those
it all.
kids don't throw eggs.
I did it
They're
all.
too nice.
I bashed mailboxes. We
Yeah.
bonked our football coach's mailbox. And we bonked it, and like we liked him. So, what the fuck? You know, you do a lot when you're 16 and, you know, your friend has his driver's license.
We used to go gnoming, and I had a pickup truck in high school, and we used to go gnoming, and we like filled the entire pickup truck with like little garden gnomes and little figurines, and it was crazy.
I know.
It was like stealing. It's illegal.
It's a crime, brother.
Like if you get pulled over, they go, "What's all this shit in the back of your truck?" And it's
Yeah.
like 4 teenagers, like
that's-
smoke the doink.
That's
It's like
15 things of theft right there.
Yeah. So I smashed mailboxes. I threw eggs, toilet paper. I'm trying to think if there was ever really a bad one. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Just Americana, 90s kid Americana shit.
Yeah.
We're allowed to do that.
Little mischief, and you grow out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Suburbia.
And you grow out of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Next, we have show watcher babies who were us for Halloween. That's you.
Yeah.
That's Richard. I'm the one on the left with the goatee.
And I think I reposted this to my story, and then one of their grandparents replied. So I think it's 3 generations of show watchers now.
We love you guys.
Yeah, very good.
Let's get them some shirts. If you guys are seeing this, DM me a fresh DM. I probably didn't see the original.
Yeah, I found that one.
And I'll get you some shirts. And then we have here show watchers named 2 cows after Richard and I.
Look, it's Rat Boy. Come on.
They run in. Fleckus and Rat Boy run in. Look at that.
That one looks like he's part goat. I like these guys. So they're 2 cows, and their mother abandoned them.
They're 2 steers, is what he said. So they're male, Fleckus and Rat Boy, and they've been bottle fed since they were young because their mother rejected them or something. He said, I don't know really how. I didn't know that happened. I thought the mothers were pretty chill.
Happens.
I thought you could always just sneak up and get some milk if you were one of the babies. That's what I thought. But
mother goes,
apparently, mother goes no and tries to stop them. So now they're named Fleckus and Richard Rat Boy.
That looks good. That's good veal.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's cook them up, brother.
Yeah, they're big enough.
They're steer.
All right. Last but not least, someone sent me this. Ryan Seacrisp is obviously the host of Wheel of Fortune. Listen to what they describe their bonus land as.
Do you want me to play it even? They describe it as bonus land.
Okay, my friend. So we're going on to bonus land here.
We're going on to bonus land here as well. And
why do you ruin it before he says it?
I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you have
Professional
end of the show. You stop giving a shit. You ruined it.
Well, that's okay. We're headed to bonus land ourselves with an extra 30 minutes. And people sent that to me and were like, yo, Ryan Seacrest is a show watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm a Wheel of Fortune show watcher. When we had to think of the name for our bonus land, I picked bonus land, so I thought it sounded good. It's because I've seen it a million times on Wheel of Fortune when I was a kid.
It's the chicken or the egg, and we aren't the egg.
Yeah, I stole it from them. I just thought of it because I've heard it a million times. I didn't realize from where, and here we are. All right, if you guys are still watching the show, please join Bonus Land, extra 30 minutes. My page 4 of Housekeeping is going to be there. We have some really good stories, some Urban Decay. We have some clips from the Dodgers celebration after they won the World Series. It's good stuff, and we'll do some more political analysis as well. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. FleckusTalks.com for Bonus Land. We'll see you on Friday, and then by then, we'll know who the president hopefully is.
Crazy. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck out there. Pleasure surfing with you guys. We'll see you on Friday.
Who are you? I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we banned abortion.